According to the International Bulletin, September 20th, 1933, of the International Order of Co-Freemasonry, Le Detroit Humane, quote, "In a very short time, Sister Besant founded new lodges, 3 in London, 3 in the south of England, 3 in North and the Northwest. She even organized one in Scotland. Traveling in 1904 with her sisters and brothers, she met in Holland other brethren of a male obedience, who being interested collaborated in further expansion of Le Detroit Humane, and they continued to work with such ardor that soon new lodges were formed in Great Britain, South America, Canada, India, Ceylon, Australia, and New Zealand. The lodges in all these countries were united under the name of the British Federation," unquote. So indeed many Masonic lodges are solely based on theosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Anne Besant in her full Masonic attire. Education is a major factor, for the New World Order plan is brainwashing our children in the schools with theosophic principles. We have already heard from Alice Bailey in the Scottish Rite's New Age magazine that education is of extreme importance. A man who has pretty much devoted his life to this aspect of the New World Order is Robert Mueller, who some call the Prophet of Hope of the United Nations. He is the counselor of the University of Peace founded by the United Nations. There are 29 Robert Mueller schools around the world according to some reports, and more being created as time continues. He wrote the book World Curriculum, which earned him the UNESCO Peace Education Prize in 1989. In it he stated the following, quote, "A world core curriculum might seem utopian today. By the end of the year 2000, it will be a down-to-earth daily reality in all the schools of the world. The underlying philosophy upon which the Robert Mueller School is based will be found in the teachings set forth in the books of Alice A. Bailey. The school now is certified as a United Nations Associated School, providing education for international cooperation and peace." Notice he said the school's teachings can be found in Alice Bailey's books. The same Alice Bailey who has called for a one-world government, New Age religion, and Luciferianism. Another man who noticed this nefarious agenda is Lee Penn, who stated, quote, "For the last 125 years, New Age leaders worldwide have followed the false light of theosophy. They now whisper sweet lies into the itching ears of the powerful, politicians, media moguls, UN officials, foundation grant makers, and Anglican bishops. As the West moves into a post-Christian era, the influence of the New Age movement grows."
So the New Age, like the Masons, feel that Christianity is the enemy, a force to be countered, not by open debate, but by contempt and ridicule, and as shall be illustrated later, by even murder. And remember, the source of the New Age movement is the order of the Freemasons. Other parties wish to join the debate. In 1911, the Socialist Party of Great Britain published a pamphlet entitled Socialism and Religion, in which they placed their position about religion into the arena. Quote, "It is therefore a profound truth that socialism is the natural enemy of religion. A Christian socialist is in fact an anti-socialist. Christianity is the antithesis of socialism." Unquote. So the socialist, the New Ager, and the Mason have declared war on the Christians. And as in every war, the enemy must be defeated even by bloodshed if necessary. This war has deep roots in history, and I will cover those roots so that you will understand it perfectly where this came from. This war is no different. Bloodshed is anticipated by all parties in the battle. LaBetty Lafferty and Bud Hollowell, two New Agers, started the discussion about how their religion sanctions the use of violence against the Christian community. They wrote the following in their book entitled The Eternal Dance, quote, "This is a time of opportunity for those who will take it," apparently meaning the New Agers, the initiates of the mystery religions, socialists. For others, apparently the Christians, if the earth is unsuitable for them, if they will not accept the New Age religion, they will go on to other worlds, unquote, which simply means they will be exterminated. You better listen to me, folks. I am a messenger, and my message is unmistakable, and it had better not fall upon deaf ears. for those deaf ears will be rendered dead in the coming New World Order. You see, they have made incredible admissions, but none of you are looking, none of you are reading, none of you are absorbing. In fact, most of you are so stupid that you think that the only thing you should read is what you personally believe in or agree with. How can you exist in this world ignorant of the opinions and the writings and the thoughts of everyone else, including your enemies? The words reveal an incredible scenario. You see, these people in the third world nations are going to be entirely replaced by what they call, quote, a new root race, unquote. That eventuality will not be a tragedy. Quote, John Randolph Price was told by his spirit guide that up to 2.5 billion might perish in the coming chaos, unquote. Another estimate of the number required to die because they will not accept the new religion was offered by the so-called Tibetan master, Wal Kul, who has said in one of his channeling experiences that 1/3 of all humanity must die. Channeling is one of the strange activities occurring inside the New Age religion. I have witnessed this, and I can tell you most channelers are just fraudulent con artists who are taking the money of those who pay to hear this channeling from dead spirits or ancient teachers or other world spirits. Some of the believers claim that they have the ability to call forth the deceased spirit of someone who lived many years before. Quite often, these spirits claim to be the ascended masters, those who have gone on to discover the eternal truths of all creation. One such believer who claimed to be in touch with a master was Alice Bailey, previously mentioned. Her spirit called himself Wal Kul, and she claimed he spoke through her, saying, quote, Death is not a disaster to be feared. The work of the destroyer is not really cruel or undesirable. Therefore, there is much destruction permitted by the custodians of the plan, and much evil turned into good, unquote. Now, just what the plan constituted was told to the world by Benjamin Krim, another New Age leader. He placed an advertisement in about 20 newspapers all over the world on April the 25th, 1982, that defined the term. The ad read in part, quote, What is the plan? It includes the installation of a new world government and new world religion under Maitreya, unquote. But perhaps the most startling example of the teachings of this new religion came from the pen of Barbara Marx Hubbard, one of their most articulate writers, and she wrote in her book entitled Happy Birthday, Planet Earth, quote, The choice is, do you wish to become a natural Christ, a universal human, or do you wish to die? People will either change or die, that is the choice, unquote. The battle lines are drawn. Choices will have to be made. I have made my choice. What is yours?
On page 115 of his book, America's Assignment with Destiny, Hall explains that the esoteric groups like Freemasonry require their members to gain influence to promote the Great Plan. He noted how the New World Order trains disciples in the dark arts and sends them out into the world in order to brainwash the public. He states, The genuine esoteric associations always required the disciples prepare themselves for careers of practical service. The student was expected to attain to a state of unusual skill or proficiency in some branch of learning. He was then to practice this profession or craft as a means of extending his sphere of constructive influence. He was to teach through example, enriching his chosen vocation with the overtones of enlightened religious philosophy, thus gradually creating a significant zone of influence. He was available for whatever task the keepers of the Great Plan required. Jordan Maxwell, a well-trained occult expert who is not just letting the public know what the Illuminati propaganda is, but he is telling the public that it is true. This is why you will see many of his supporters hating Christianity and presenting Theosophic and Illuminati doctrine as if it were true. This, however, is not a big surprise, for Jordan Maxwell admitted that Manly Palmer Hall The 33rd degree Freemason was a great friend of his.